Good afternoon. Hope all is well with everyone. Feels good coming off a gritty team victory. Thought our guys did a heck of a job of just persevering through adversity. And I'm talking about everyone that had a Chief uniform on. And now it's a new week and a new challenge. So with that said, I'm all ears.
Eric, the Titans really didn't blitz you guys hardly at all, especially the first half. I think it was literally not at all. Most of the time, the adjustment is to a blitz, but how do you think that just you guys as an offense, particularly Patrick, have adjusted to teams not blitzing you guys?
You know what? I'll say this from a personal viewpoint. I think we've adjusted well. Just like I discuss each and every week, those guys on the other side of the ball get paid too. I thought Coach Vrabel and his whole entire defensive staff did a hell of a game. That front that they have is very, very special. I shouldn't say the front seven. They do an outstanding job of getting after the quarterback. They create a lot of pressure with those guys. But I thought our guys gritted out a great team victory. And I'm not talking just about offense. I'm talking about offensively, defensively, and special teams. I thought it was a great team win. I thought it was a great character win. It's not anything that you do perfect, but we found a way, and that's all that matters.
Does it add a wrinkle to your game plan when you're watching teams that typically do blitz, knowing that's probably not what you're going to see on Sunday?
Well, each week we go into a game with a contingency plan because everyone seems to have a different outlook on how they're going to prepare and play the Chiefs. So we always go into a game plan with a thought process on what we think they're going to do, but also understanding that at any given moment they could change up, the perception of what we've seen on tape. So we just make sure that our guys are prepared regardless, whether they're blitzing or not. We want them to make sure that there's a contingency plan. They understand every which way that we want to attack.
Y'all were able to get 500 yards. This is no doubt nitpicking a little bit, but how do you get the run game going? What's been the problem?
We got to run it. We got to invest in it, meaning that we just can't run it a few times and expect success. Just like I just discussed, this front seven was very, very impressive. Those guys did a hell of a job. But it's just like anything that you say, like when you're pounding concrete and you're using that hammer, it's not going to break the first few times you utilize it, correct? It's going to take a while. So we need to find out if we can run it, but on top of that, we have to consistently invest in it. So I got to do a better job. As a staff, we have to do a better job. That way we're giving our guys up front and those backs an opportunity to make it happen.
Coach, yesterday Patrick was discussing in overtime that 4th-and-1 situation. He went over the sidelines, was talking to you, was talking to Coach. Before the decision was made, what do you typically want to hear as far as input before you make your decision if you are going to go for it or you make the call to go for it?
Well, believe it or not, those discussions are handled prior to that moment. So we know exactly what we're thinking and what we want to do. Those are situations that we prepare for. On top of that, we have conversations with the quarterbacks the night before that meeting. And, in case we're in this situation, what's your call? And we'd sit and discuss. And so those things are already mapped out. So you always got to go into a game with a contingency plan. Hey, if this situation comes up, how do we want to handle this?
Coach, with that being said, how concerned are you about McCole if he ends up not going? I know it's next man up, but what would that adjustment look like for you guys?
Well, let me just say this. First and foremost, I never discuss injuries. Our training staff will handle that. But I know nobody likes to hear the next man up, but that's the attitude mindset that we take because our coaches do an outstanding job of preparing everyone, all right, to be at their best when their best is needed. We're coaching our starters to be the starters, but on top of that, we're coaching the next man to be ready to play. So that's our job of making sure in case someone is not ready and they can't play, that the next man is ready to go out and perform.
Coach, what do you think you've seen so far on tape here of the Jags? The coach said yesterday they look like they've been fighting through every game and really battling. What are you seeing from the defense so far?
It's a very, very good defense. And I'll tell you what, and these guys got some great athletes out there. They're very, very good up front. It seems like each and every week I come to this podium, I'm talking about that damn defensive line. And These guys are another crew. They're very good. And they got a couple of guys that have been drafted high, but they play hard, they play fast, they fly around to the ball. They got some nice young secondary players. This team is better than what their record states, okay? Obviously, they're young, but this is one of those games, if you take it for granted, you'll find yourself looking up at the scoreboard and you'll be down a whole lot. So our job is to make sure that we're handling and conducting our business from play one to the end to that last whistle.
Couple more, Dave.
I know Kadarius is probably still swimming in the playbook right now, but this is kind of going off of what Haley asked about McCall. He's a guy that seems like he has kind of a similar skill set. He can do some of those jet sweeps and things like that. Is that something that he could conceivably do once he gets his feet under him?
Well, if I told you everything that he can do, I'd be letting the cat out the bag, right? Let's just say this, all right? We're coaching all our guys to go out there and making sure that they can be at their best when their best is needed. So whatever role that he needs to wear, whatever hat that he needs to wear, hell, we need him to go play quarterback, him, McCole, Clyde, any of them. They'll go out and do the best that they can do.
Okay, thanks everyone.
All right. Appreciate you guys.